So I talk a lot about wholesaling real estate on my channel, and I teach you exactly how to do things to be successful. But in this scenario, don't do what I do. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Graylan Stewart. I'm a virtual wholesaler and real estate investor. So we do wholesaling real estate nationwide, and my channel is all about that. We also do buy and hold properties for long-term wealth, and we also do fix and flip houses for that bigger paycheck. But the majority of what we talk about on this channel is wholesaling real estate, because that's what we really do all day, every day. And we do it nationwide and 100% virtual. And when I say virtual, I mean virtual in every sense of the word. We're virtual as far as our entire team. We're all across the U.S. and across different countries as well. And we're virtual in the respect that we buy the houses virtually. We never see a house that we buy or sell, and we get paid for those houses. But this channel is all about wholesaling real estate, okay? So today's video, I'm obviously talking about something that I don't want you to do necessarily just because I'm doing it. So I had a teacher back in high school, which happened to also be the driver's ed teacher. Now this teacher was always saying a statement that never really made sense to me, because he was always saying, "Do as I say, not as I do," meaning he wants you to do what he's teaching you and telling you what to do, but he doesn't want you to do what he does, because basically he didn't practice what he preached. So I'm not telling you that's what I'm doing here. I'm just telling you, I'm talking about marketing specifically today, okay? So if you follow my channel for any length of time at all, you know that I do tons of different marketing channels, like at least 10 different types of marketing. And the reason I do that is because I grew into those things, okay? But when you're first starting out and you're new to this business, even in your first year, I would say, you know, what you want to do is choose one or two marketing channels at a time. So what you want to do is really focus on those two channels, perfect those two marketing channels, get really good at them to where you're having success with them, you're growing them. You know, once you have a little bit of success, you know, just for an example, if you chose cold calling, start out with one cold caller, buy you some lists to have them cold call. You've got to train them and teach them on what to do and what to say and how to say it. But once you start getting deals from that, you can expand that. You can buy more lists for them to buy, to call. You can do add another caller if you wanted to. So then once you have success in that, you can start expanding from it. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. You want to perfect a couple of marketing strategies before you go really wide. So you want to just go real deep into the channels that you choose initially. So I would suggest just doing one or two. So when I very first started back in September of 2018, all I did was direct mail. People always ask me, like, why did you choose that first off? Because most people getting into the business brand new do not go that route. And they don't go that route because it's a little bit more expensive. The reason I chose that route is because I own a marketing company. In my marketing company at that time, we were mostly doing direct mail type of things, postcards for our clients. We had a direct mail magazine where we had customers buying into the magazine for advertising, and that was mailed out to the community. So most of what we did in my marketing company was direct mail. So I chose that route because I already believed in it. I already knew exactly how it worked. And, you know, I was willing to spend the money because I was already making decent money. It wasn't like I had $0 to start out with. So that's why I chose that route. But slowly, I would say after 3 or 4 months, I dabbled in cold calling, which I failed miserably because I didn't train my cold callers like you're supposed to. I just expected them to know what to do and how to do it. And that's just not the case. Whether you're using virtual assistants or someone here in the States, people have to be trained for you to have any kind of success at all. You know, you can't just count on people, even if they've had experience of some sort. You got to teach them exactly what you want them to do for them to be successful and for you to actually get deals out of it. So I failed at that, over a few months. Actually, several months I tried it, never did a deal for a long time with cold calling. Then I tried to dabble in some RVMs, which that did really good for us. We did it wrong initially, but that's the thing, is like, you just jump in and do something, you'll figure out if it's for you or not, and you'll figure out how to make it better and how to do it different. As you kind of go. But yeah, I did the RVMs wrong. The reason I say that is, first of all, the acquisition manager I hired, just 4 or 5 months into the business, not even that long, about 3 months into the business, it was the same thing as a cold caller. I didn't train him correctly. Just assumed, since he had sales experience, he knew what to do, kind of gave him a script and just said, go do it. And it was terrible. I set him up for failure, so it didn't work out for either one of us, unfortunately. But I failed doing the RVMs because the way I did it. RVMs definitely worked, and we actually got a deal out of that. And so the acquisition manager did make some money on that deal. But the reason I did it wrong is we had a list of, like, I don't even remember how big the RVM list was. It wasn't gigantic, but I think it was probably around 1,200 people on the list, phone numbers rather. It's probably only half of that as far as people goes, but let's just say there was about 1,000 or so phone numbers. So what I did was, all I knew to do was send out RVMs. Your phone's going to ring, take the calls, and try to get a deal, right? And that is right. But what you want to do is you want to slowly have those phone calls go out on your RVM system. And what I did was I uploaded it, sent the whole thing out at once. So literally 1,000 messages, phone calls went out all at one time. So my acquisition manager was like blowing up. His phone was blowing up literally for several hours in a row, because it definitely worked. He was getting tons of calls. I think he got over a couple of hundred calls in the matter of like an hour or two, and it was impossible to keep up. So the ones that actually did leave messages, he was calling back. But when you really look at it, we probably wasted a lot of opportunity. We definitely wasted some money and some time, but definitely probably opportunity cost more than anything, because all those calls should be answered live. That's the key. Whatever marketing channel you choose, that's why I say perfect it. You want to do one, maybe two at a time. Get really good at those two, and then go deep into them. Because once you perfect those, you start getting deals from them. You can expand and go deeper into those. If you're doing 1,000 RVMs, obviously you want to slow play those so it drops a certain amount, however many your staff can handle answering. Or if you're a solopreneur, you got to make sure that you are able to answer those calls in a timely manner. So I don't know how many calls you can take, but if you're sending maybe 30 out at a time, maybe every 15 or 20 minutes, I don't know. Maybe that's too many, maybe that's perfect. But at least, if you only have 3 or 4 of those calling you back, you can probably handle those live calls. So that's the point in this whole message. So the reason I say don't do what I do is because, yes, I do about 10 marketing channels, but I perfected all those over time. It took me, we've been doing this for over 3 years now. It took me time to grow into doing more things. First of all, one person could never do that many marketing channels. If you're a solopreneur, you probably just want to do one thing. Just like when I did direct mail, that's pretty much all I could handle. Even though the phone didn't ring a ton, it was still a lot. When you're taking calls, you're acting as an acquisition manager, you're the transaction coordinator, you're the disposition manager, you're also taking new calls while you're trying to get paid on the first deal, and you're getting more deals, trying to get paid on those deals, and still taking incoming calls, and you're doing follow-up at the same time. It becomes overwhelming. So that's why I say if you do more than one or so, you definitely want to have at least somebody maybe taking your calls for you. But even after you perfect those two, just go deeper into them. And that's what I tried to do. And now that I have 10, I think I actually have more than that. When you consider JVs and things like that, there's actually more than 10 marketing channels. But as far as active things that I pay for on an ongoing basis, I think there's probably 8 or 9, something like that. I haven't looked at exactly, but I don't want to throw money away. I'm a big believer in not wasting money in my personal life or business. So I only spend money on things that I know is going to bring me money. So if you're doing too many things, what I'm saying is you're going to throw money away unless you have a team in place. But even if you had a team and you started doing all these marketing channels and they don't really know how to handle those, for example, pay-per-click, if you don't take those calls live or call them back within 30 seconds to a minute or so, 5 minutes tops, you're probably going to lose that, because if they're searching online on Google or something, sell my house fast or something along those lines, they're looking like for now. They want answers now. They need help right now because they're actively pursuing you. So if you're not taking those calls live, you're basically throwing money in the trash. And those are very expensive leads. So that's why I say you want to really go deep into whatever marketing channels you choose and then perfect those and then just go deeper, because once anything starts working, you can spend more money, throw more money at it, buy more lists or whatever the case might be, to where you can actually start bringing in more calls. So after you have a team behind you that can handle a lot of things over time, that's when you can start adding more marketing channels. Because I've got, some people are like, hey, I'm doing this, this, and this, and this, but none of it's working. Well, I've been there too, At one time, I was doing direct mail, cold call, and RVM. Direct mail was working okay, but the RVM and cold calling was terrible because I wasn't doing it right. Yes, we got a deal from RVM, but we probably should have got 5 or 6 deals from that first time I sent those if I'd have did them correctly. So that's the whole message here, guys. Don't do what I do, starting out at least. But over time, obviously, you can grow into doing multiple marketing channels because, if it's going to bring you money in, then do it. But at the same time, you don't want to overdo it at first. You want to do what works, learn it, perfect it, and then go deeper into it. So hopefully this message finds you well. I hope it was beneficial to you. If you got some value out of it, definitely give me a thumbs up. I'd highly appreciate that. And hit the subscribe button. If you've stuck around this long, please do me that favor. I'd appreciate that as well. So anyways, guys, hope this found you well. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.